Greetings, everyone. I am Director of Arketer Labs, as is usual. I swear. Don't worry, I won't hold against you that you're a bit confused or are suspicious. I know, I don't quite sound like myself, but it is I promise.
Yeah, I know. He's turned up for the show with a voice for audio porn.
There's been no price set on that, but if someone was really wanting such a thing, they'd have to move quick because this won't keep. Probably. I hope not. I liked my regular voice. It was a bit more reliable, and I could actually sing with it. I cannot sing with this. I could play with Zerbo, but not sing. Hopefully we'll be better off by next Wednesday. I am joined in call by Froman, Silently, Sparky, Gray, and, of course, Orla. Some of you might recall Gray from the long, long ago, before the bad times.
God, you make me sound ancient.
Is this a son of Grayskull?
Oh God, no relation. No relation.
Not the son of Grayskull, the cousin of Grayskull. Twice removed.
Gotcha.
The cousin of the son of Grayskull. Grayskull's more of a great uncle. Anyhow, greetings in chat to Exodus, who has kindly provided a Steam key for Doom Eternal. I believe it's Slayer's Edition. I'm not sure about that, but it says SE and it seems a reasonable guess. That will be raffled off before the show is over, using round.org if we actually have more than 2 competitors for it. Greetings to Exodus. Let's see, Bernie, B.K. Scholl, Old Man Enfield, the first person. Oh, Fruman's excited now. He's noticed your present, Gray. He's texting all over the screen in his tremendous enjoyment at your presence here. But no need to refocus. Greetings, Kaylet. By the way, if you do want in as well, I can send you a link as well. I do need to apologize. The coffee is almost here, but it's not here yet. Hopefully by Wednesday. Greetings, Nightwolf, J.R., Best Remy, Gem Max. And I think we're up to speed. Oh yes, Bunny B has just entered the raffle. That means there will be a raffle, because there are at least 2 people attempting to win it. So, that's great. Fantastic.
Cool.
Well, it's a good game. I played it myself. I never got around to the expansion, though. Weirdly.
The only Doom I played was the old original one. I have not played the new one yet.
Oh, they're quite awful. I'm sorry, the new ones are quite good, rather. I may not be 100% in other ways regarding my voice, so I urge you all to just pretend it's intentional.
What's intentional?
Welcome.
You said the raffle was for Doom?
Doom Eternal, Gem Max,
Okay.
and everyone else. So, you know what, let's just play the trailer for it so there can be no room for confusion.
The inner circle of death is where he resides. Hunting them at the far reaches of the earth and beyond. And with him lies our salvation. There is only one dominant life form in this universe, and it carries a steel-barreled sword of vengeance. Welcome home, Great Slayer. Arketer's time is now.
Suffice to say, that's the game that'll be raffled off. 2 competitors thus far. Just, ideally tag me in chat, and I'll add you to the list of competitors. Meanwhile, Kaylet, I assure you I will enjoy the coffee. Whatever condition does arrive in, it will taste, at the very least, like validation. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be good besides.
Doom is such one of the most metal games ever. Love it.
Oh,
Good
yes.
soundtrack, excellent gameplay. Rare that they make a remake and it turns out to actually be good.
I've not played Doom Eternal, but I've seen clips of it mashed up with Carmella dancing, and it's actually pretty good.
I feel like 2016 was ultimately better, but Eternal is pretty good.
I'm also inclined to agree. Plus, they did not treat some of the geniuses behind the work well in these more recent games. But that's a bit of neither here nor there. I have not set prices for reading Eastward of lewd stories, so don't listen to Aurora Seraph. They are leading you astray. Right. Although I do have to read anything that comes in on Streamlabs, so I suppose that's as close as you can get to it. I suppose now, if you want to compel me to say things with Streamlabs, with his voice, this is quite possibly your sole opportunity to do so, and I could use the money, so I won't even complain that much. Right, well, let's pick an article to go with for now, as we wait for other people to decide whether or not... Yeah, I can't make Patreon up with this voice, it's not going to last long enough for that. Most of these articles have been, of course, compiled by Fruman. Not all, but most. So any complaints should be redirected to him. Starting with...
I got all the best ones, damn it.
Oh yes, there's quite the collection here. We have a theme of sorts, and it actually tells a story, even morphs into other topics as we go. But according to the New York Post, a priest close to Pope Francis is accused of inviting 2 nuns to take part in a Holy Trinity threesome. Which... Personally, look, if they're
absolute
adults,
lad.
Yeah, if he's an interest in adult human women is something that I think personally should be completely tolerable.
He's just filling them with the Holy Spirit.
If they consecrate, okay, if the water can be made holy.
Oh God.
No.
I don't think you understand how messed up this is. Holy Trinity is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, so you know they called him Daddy.
No, but vodka in this mug, Night Wolf, it is just water, as I'm not recovered, but I intend to. No matter how much I would have rather swapped it out for one of those other things. Yeah, oh.
Took a minute for that one, didn't it?
No, it just came up again. Like bile.
Yeah. I have that effect on women.
A Jesuit priest who is reportedly close to Pope Francis has been accused of inviting 2 nuns to partake in a quote-unquote Holy Trinity threesome, and is now facing allegations of sexual and spiritual abuse dating back decades.
Wow.
A former nun claims that... Oh, go on.
I was going to say, I don't even know how to respond to that.
A former nun claims that Marco Ivan Rupnik used his psycho-spiritual control over her some 3 decades ago in order to make her watch pornographic films and have group sex sessions that he said would have religious significance. Okay, does the Catholic Church have some forms of communion they haven't been telling us about? Because I'm not familiar of any sort of Christian doctrine that would apply spiritual or religious significance to orgies or porn. In any case, Robnik68 was a
for the
spiritual...
Holy Trinity, it could be the second coming of Christ.
Or the Devil's Triangle.
Or
Well, that's only if it's three guys.
It might be the true summoning of the Antichrist by doing this. Who knows?
They're so goddamn funny.
Greetings in chat to Brain Shatter. By all means, focus on your own recovery as well. They've had it worse than I have. So I can complain, but I probably shouldn't do loudly. Right. Robnik68 was a spiritual director at a convent in Slovenia and has created mosaics for churches, including a papal chapel at the Vatican. A papal chapel.
Papal Chapel.
Papal chapel.
The fuck?
A papal chapel sounds weirdly messy, but it's terribly fun to say. Who's been to a papal chapel?
I can honestly say I have not.
I think that's just like a chapel with, you know,
A chapel for the papal.
I can't remember what the hierarchy of the church is, but it's lower than a bishop. I don't remember how far lower. I think it's one or two ranks as a papal.
A papal smear? Oh god.
Yep, I read that. I approve. But you know, they're not trying to be like a gynecologist. Is that how it happened? You know, Yahweh just shows up in the middle of a crib and you know goes up to Mary and is just like, I'm a gynecologist. Get ready for the papal smear.
Oh god.
We're all going to hell for this article alone.
No. But if there are such consequences, there's like a long list ahead of us. I think we've got time. Former nun told the Italian newspaper Domini that Father Marco started slowly and sweetly getting inside my psychological and spiritual world, exploiting my uncertainties and fragility, and using my relationship with God to push me into sexual experience with him, according to the Daily Mail. She said that during her time at the Slovenian convent between 1987 and 1994, Rupnik groomed her, had sex with her, and bullied her into staying silent about the abuse. The former nun also claimed Rupnik had asked her and another nun to have a threesome with him, saying they would replicate the three relationship among the God the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit.
You know, there's actually like a Marvel comic where like the nuns are like interacting with Thor, and like one of the nuns is so goddamn horny for Thor. Like, is that kind of what's happening here? It's just like
that. This is much weirder than that.
For the love of thunder.
A symbolic replication of the three relationship between God the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. I'm just kind of wondering in this case, which one of them is supposed to be God?
Ooh.
Or Jesus, the Holy Spirit again?
Well, clearly, you know, the priest is God because he's daddy. Again.
Okay, so...
I don't know about that.
And
but
the Holy
Chapel
Spirit
demands confetti.
Look, I don't know which one of them was the son. I figured the Holy Spirit would be kind of towards the end. And every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I will pray.
Do you think they involved the rosaries? Do you think, right, like every bead of a rosary they pulled out, they did a prayer?
I will admit it took me a bit longer And the rest here.
May the power of Christ propel you, pop. May the power of Christ propel you, pop. Anyways, what I was saying is, I think the Chapel Papel, the fans confetti. Yeah, 14 likes. How good. Congratulations.
Oh, right. I need to address that. Because this has confetti. This stream has been a success. Thank you for a warm welcome back into my streaming efforts. Most kind of you all. Not monetary success. Can't have everything at once. Any case, greetings, Assassin the Grey, Taste the Matrix. Yes, that was my point early on, Matrix. That namely, look, it's not appropriate, it's not acceptable, not only with this sort of weird brainwashing and his religion to basically abuse a nun into a three-way, but at least it's involving ostensibly self-responsible adults that it's like step up from certain reputational things.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Greetings, Assassin the Grey. Thank you very much for your promotion. I certainly can't really afford it otherwise. Sincerely appreciated. Okay. I need to get those rosemary beads out of my mind, so we're going to move on. But that doesn't mean we're going to get any classier, as man with a World War I explosive lodged inside his rectum sparks bomb scare, hospital evacuation.
Well, like, I've heard that you need to, like, hold on to your rosary. I guess it just takes on a new meaning. But no, this is an explosive uptick from the previous one.
So this would bring a whole new meaning to dropping a bomb.
Drop a deuce, you mean?
When you really, really, really tire of being constipated.
Explosive diarrhea?
In any case, greetings, SnoopX100. Quite welcome. What? How? Good question. I'm guessing with a terrifying amount of effort.
Regardless of the situation, we know shit's going down.
I said, the X-ray. He put a lot of effort into that. Like, Jesus Christ.
It looks like a pop bottle.
It
Well,
does.
he obviously used lube for that.
One hopes. I mean, otherwise the implication would be that enough damage was done, the blood was lubricant.
Do you lube or go in dry with your explosive devices?
Every time I see a story like this, it just gives me a whole new appreciation of the human rectum. There's a powerful part of the human body, apparently.
Indeed.
That's the question. I now need to join the military and ask my drill sergeant or whoever, should I throw my grenade lubed or unlubed?
I think the real question is, what type did they use? Did they use one with a tingling sensation or a numbing action, or probably go with the numbing action myself.
I was gonna say, I think the tingling sensation happens when it goes off.
I'm thinking when it goes off, all sensation in general ceases. In any case, the case left doctors shell-shocked. Boo.
I love it so much.
A French hospital was partially evacuated this Saturday after a senior citizen arrived with a World War I artillery shell lodged in his rectum. The 88-year-old patient...
What?
I mean, it explains how he got it up so far, and also, like, the fact he's French also explains quite a lot.
Doesn't interfere with one's sexual experiences. We should know this by now. This is what Viagra is for.
The 80-year-old patient visited Hospital St. Luce in Toulon to have the anti-explosive removed, but instead sparked a bomb scare. French replication volume not reported.
You know, the amount of people shoving explosives up their asses has gone up significantly, and I'd just be curious on the why. So what was it? It was like a year ago we were talking about a guy who shoved a mortar up his ass.
That's a good point. I remember. Yeah, there's been more than one of these. Where are people finding these explosives?
No, I remember what was it? The USB up the urethra story on this channel.
Oh, we also had baked beans. They shoved beans up the urethra. They found that 6 was the limit. What's wrong with people?
I am on the assumption of, we're on the moon. Just wipe it.
I was just wondering, do you want a list of what's wrong with people?
Yeah.
I suppose that would run a bit too long for the show, though.
We don't have enough time to diagnose the various issues significant portions of humanity are all wrestling with all the time to varying degrees of severity.
Yeah, no, this is... I just looked it up. Bomb squad called to a hospital after a man reportedly had a World War II mortar shoved up his ass.
World War II.
Both of these are World War II.
No, Roman, this is World War One.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, don't fault the wrong way. I might set it off.
Well, look, time to do the disclaimer to cover my ass legally and the complete unnecessary PSA. No matter how lonely you are out there, no matter how hard life seems to be, no one at any point should shove artillery shells up their ass. Especially if they're live. Just don't do it. Get a hobby. Paint miniatures. Take up 3D sculpting. Anything but that.
Play with trains.
Model trains. Much better. Oh no, what do you want to bet we're going to find an article one of these days where someone just put an entire miniature HO scale right up there?
No. I was going like, if you need to shove something massive up your ass, just literally like bend over in front of a train. It's going to be less painful.
Bad Tempered Badger would like us to know that World War I ones have a more pleasant shape, for which I will entirely take his word.
Someone didn't listen to PSA.
The way he talks makes it sound like he's done this before.
I'm sure it was entirely unintended. Oh.
I've seen bigger things that have had to have been removed, and they were meant to be there.
No, time out. Go back up. No, go back up to the X-ray. He put that thing in blunt side first.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
How?
Are we entirely sure this was for some gratification? He's 88, he's quite old. Maybe he just wanted to go out with a bang.
Like, if he's putting it in blunt side first, you'd imagine that it hits something. Like, if that sets it off, yeah, no, you're right. Sending things off. I'm just curious on what he had to do to get prepared for it all.
Do you think if he, got on all fours, ass up, and hit his stomach with a hammer, you can use him as a makeshift mortar?
We got Kayla in chat going, hold on again, what?
So maybe this brings a whole new meaning to fire in the hole?
I'm just trying to think of ways you can weaponize this.
Well, I mean...
I believe suicide bombing is thoroughly frowned upon by...
Oh, that would be fun. Like, you get a bunch of drug mules, but one of them just has a mortar up their ass, and you just have one be set off and just, turns everyone off. In more ways than one.
When you hear those facts or memes that say, the human anus can expand to up to 7 inches, and then you see something like that, it then becomes totally believable.
Yeah.
Why would anyone want to fucking...
Like, apparently without
I'm just
damage.
shutting up. Never mind.
Look,
I'm not gonna ask.
From my understanding, the prostate apparently is a thing. But I don't get the whole notion of wanting shrapnel in it.
It is again believed, contrary to my suggestions, this was a suicide attempt, that this was done just for sexual pleasure. A doctor is quoted as saying, "An appeal, a mangle, or even a can of shaving cream are used to find unusual objects and sit where they shouldn't be," one doctor declared. "But a shell? Never!" Medics were forced to take the elderly man to surgery. They cut him open, pulled it out, and he's believed to be in good health physically.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to put that fan out with the firing end pointed at you either. So,
You know, if he was a bit younger, I'm sure that you'd have a lot of people saying his ass was a bomb.
If people are wondering about discrepancies between the photo of the removed object and how it appears in here, well, this is from UK stats on objects pulled from patients' rectums, so it could be these are not the relevant X-rays, and increasingly might be just someone slamming a Coke bottle in there. I don't know, and I'm not going to click play to find out, because that is about as much as I can take of that right now. Instead, from the Miami New Times, Dominatrix demands Fort Lauderdale City Commission pony up for a sex dungeon. I would like to note that they look like a Daft Punk tribute band initially.
my question's why? I'm sure the article's going to tell us.
Let's
To be fair, if
find
they're
out.
asking government for one, any government officials probably already got one. To be fair, so do a timeshare thing.
Yeah, they're so used to fucking people.
Greetings in chat to Jinxie, Johnny Bonsocco, and anyone else who snuck in when I wasn't looking. Okay, well, nearly an hour into what began as a ho-hum Fort Lauderdale City Commission meeting on December 20th, 3 women wearing head-to-toe dominatrix-style outfits, looking a bit more gimpish to me, but, you know, what do I know, approached commissioners with a demand. Good evening, council peoples. You may call me Mistress. The one in the middle greeted officials. Mistress, sporting a shiny silver suit, futuristic monoblock glasses, and candy apple red lipstick, proceeded to explain why she and her Daft Punk doppelganger cohorts, I'm not the only one to notice, were there to propose that the commission set aside a chunk of the nearly $1 million allotted in a recently improved yard waste processing plant to fund a sex dungeon in Broward County. The 2 women behind her stood silently as she spoke. I propose that you use a quarter of that million to support doms and subs in the Broward County to build a dungeon created for us, by us, the taxpayers, and voting citizens, said quote-unquote mistress. She concluded by telling officials, I look forward to spanking each and every single one of you. At the newest team dungeon, you are dismissed.
I like the idea of a taxpayer-funded sex dungeon, and I've never used one, but yeah.
Well, clearly they're amateur. Whenever the government wants to screw us over, they never go through the public route.
Yeah, it's hauled in the chambers. I thought that was the sex dungeon. Scheming on the ways to fuck us over.
It's more of an esoteric sort of sex dungeon, but people are getting screwed. A lot of people. Again, us. Okay, thank you, replied Mayor Dean Trenthouse with Emerald Plum. And happy holidays to you. So, well, they might not use taxpayer money for it directly, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone paying attention found them attending a private corollary. And this is where we transition into another topic. Yes, Jinxie, I have, you might have noticed, or maybe not, been out of my regular routine for a bit over a week, I think. But I'm on the mend. And, back at it, regardless. So, yes, not feeling great, but much better than prior. If my voice sounds bad, it was so much worse. Egads, so much worse. Okay, greetings, Bishop, and moving on. With some hesitation, Vice reports that a model claims she was turned into a sex doll without permission. Not directly, of course. Not drugged or anything. Sex dolls have been made in their likeness without their permission. Just mind you, it was in China, so
I was gonna say I don't really feel like that would fall underneath any kind of trademark or copyright.
No, she has no case, and it's in
Doesn't
China.
she have a right to their likeness or something like that, or is that for celebrities only?
It would seem that way.
No,
I imagine it's
not
going to cost
even-
a lot of money to push this, and against China, I don't see it
God,
going
it's
anywhere.
China. They ain't gonna give a shit. They'll break any and every copyright law just to go for the high score, won't they?
Yep. Mind you, if she thinks this looks exactly like this, which probably had comparable amounts of makeup and paint involved, they've got a terrible self-image.
Which one's real? Is
This is apparently the most classically real one. In any case, Israeli model Yael Cohen-Eris claims that a sex doll company based in China created a doll in her likeness using her features, name, that's a bit farther along, and images from her social media accounts to market the life-size toy. The doll has the same dark hair, glasses, lip freckle, and name as her. The company, called Iron Tech, claims that this was all coincidence, and I imagine they didn't bother keeping a straight face if they were made to say it in person. In a recent interview with UK's ITV television network, Cohen-Eris said that while she has no issues with the sexual industry itself, discovering a doll that looked uncannily like her was jarring, and certainly that's fair enough. Say, what would any of you do if you found that China was pumping out sex dolls in your likeness?
I'd be confused but flattered.
That's about how most of us would respond, I think.
I would burn the factory to the ground.
How about one used as a decoy?
Are you sure it's in the budget? I mean, I don't know if you ever looked at the cursory. In the articles, they say what the prices are on these, and they're generally pretty insane, even from the as ordered from Wish variety.
I don't even remember. I know they were up there like in the thousands to 10,000s.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way I would spend that much money over any manner of equipment upgrade of the, professional, productive variety. In any case, to quote the aggrieved, "It's not just about a beauty mark and my name, because sex dolls are still just dolls, and there's a limit to how much they can look like a human being. But once it was connected to my identity and my image in my videos and social media, there is no mistake here." She first posted publicly about the doll in July 2019 on Instagram. "I found out the company made a sex doll about me without my permission. on me knowing it's not a joke, it's real. Sure enough, photo caption of a post featuring images of the doll. They even named the doll Yale.
If she's angry about that sex doll, she's gonna be fucking furious when she finds out what they do in VR. You know.
That's no shit.
I never heard of this person before this, and this is a very strange introduction, which makes me wonder if it's entirely by chance. In any case, so if you happen to be a remotely successful model, apparently there's a non-zero chance that China will turn you into a sex doll, but so long as you stay out of China directly, at least they won't do it physically to you. And if you are in China and happen to be political dissident, you might go into the making. That's correct. I am not.
You might.
I'm not a doll. I am an action figure. If you get any dolls of me, they will action figures of me, which might be possible through my cult's account at some point. Not dolls, action figures. Sorry,
Lifelike dolls or action figures.
Action figures are not dolls. There's a difference there, clearly. And yes. Assassin Korea has advice. Should you ever encounter your doppelganger, tell it, you look marvelous, with enthusiasm. So it will be caught unawares when you strike it while it's distracted. I suppose this is also another indirect reminder to stay armed if you can. But we'll just move on again. This all follows a theme, basically, that, well, as you know, wait, or maybe not, I'm a big fan of science. I love science. I love technological advancement. But I am not ignorant of the complications they lead to. And oh boy, are they leading to a lot of complications that we're just starting to see basically the tip of the iceberg on. From AI art to terribly convincing chatbots to, oh yes, face recognition that will be applied in the most petty, asshole-ish way imaginable. Face recognition tech, employed in the US no less, gets Girl Scout mom booted from Rocket Show due to where she works.
This is a fun article. It's not anything particularly like interesting on its own, but it's just like the amount of salt that this company must have.
Time out. Let me guess. She was a stripper.
No.
Okay.
Your assumptions are all wrong. It's weirdly worse.
Oh.
Well, I mean, worse and better and worse at the same time. Like the amount of salt this company has.
I say worse mainly because if they're going to do this petty shit, you can expect a lot more similar petty shit when the technology is as widely dispersed. A recent incident at a Radio City Music Hall involving the mother of a Girl Scout is shedding light on the growing controversy of facial recognition, as critics claim is being used to target perceived enemies. Claim. I think it's a bit more than a claim, especially in this very article. In this case, by one of the most famous companies in the country. Kelly Conlon and her daughter came to New York City, which is her first mistake, in my opinion, the weekend after Thanksgiving as part of a Girl Scout field trip to Radio City Music Hall to see the Christmas Spectacular show. But while her daughter, other members of the Girl Scout troop, and their mothers got to go enjoy the show, Conlon wasn't allowed to do so, and that's because Madison Square Garden Entertainment, Conlon isn't just any mom. They had identified and zeroed in on her as security guards approached her right as she got in the lobby. It was pretty simultaneous, I think, going to the metal detector, and I heard it over an intercom and loudspeaker, she told NBC New York. I heard them say, "Woman with the long dark hair and grey scarf." She said she was asked her name and police identification. I believe they said that our recognition picked you up, Conlon said. As Sign says facial recognition is used as a security measure and more to ensure safety for guest employees, because it's always under the ostensible pretense of safety.
I swear, people don't listen to me. If you have put your picture up on Facebook, there's like 100% chance that it's been used to build facial recognition. In fact, the British government got into trouble for purchasing some of that information as well. You need to have multiple emails for your social media and everything, because your internet footprint is very, very real. It will cost you jobs if you are not careful enough. Yeah? You can be tracked from one email or your username, and they can find the majority of your accounts. It really is that simple these days.
And the worst part is, as AI gets better, they can just get all this shit, at the click of a finger. It's very scary. More and more advanced each day. You have wrong think, you're going to be cut off from everything.
It's definitely cause for caution. Colin says she posed no threat because she didn't pose a threat, but the guards still kicked her out with the explanation that they knew she was an attorney. They knew my name before I told them. They knew the firm I was associated with before I told them, and they told me I was not allowed to be there, said Coleman. Coleman is an associate with a New Jersey-based law firm, Davis, Saperstein and Solomon, which for years has been involved in a personal injury litigation against a restaurant venue, now under the umbrella of MSG Entertainment. So, again, it has nothing to do with the Rockets. Or the venue. Or, well, anything, really.
God, every day we slip just a little more into a dystopia.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Yeah. I don't practice in New York. I'm not an attorney that works on cases against MSG, said Conlon. But MSG said she was banned nonetheless, along with fellow attorneys in that firm and others. This is... They really issued a statement as if this doesn't make them look just as awful as one might assume. MSG instituted a straightforward policy that precludes attorneys of pursuing active litigation against the company from attending events at all venues until that litigation has been resolved. While we understand this policy is disappointing to some, we cannot ignore the fact that litigation creates an inherently adverse environment. All impacted attorneys were notified of the policy, including Davis, Saperstein, and Solomon, which was notified twice. A spokesperson for MSG Entertainment said in a statement, ostensibly while twirling their poorly grown mustache. The whole scheme is a pretext for doing collective punishment on adversaries who would dare sue MSG and their multi-billion-dollar network, said Sam Davis, a partner of the firm where Conlon works. Which checks out. Checks out. We might be having some small measure of connection interruption. Please bear with me. I will take a brief moment to step away from this and remind everyone that we will be raffling off again a Steam key for Doom Eternal, as provided by Exodus. So, was anyone who wanted to, who didn't have a copy of Doom Eternal who would like to throw their hat into the ring now? Because we're going to be raffling that sucker off here soon, and we got 2 people in for it already, so just throwing it out there. I will need a way to contact you via Twitter or Discord, by the way. If you do win, this won't be a problem for Bernie B. I'm not sure if I have a direct line of contact for you, Enfield. You might want to DM me on Twitter if you can, just to be safe. This House in the Grey, do I take it to mean you want Doom Eternal via Steam? further. What for 15 likes, by the way, if you can't support me monetarily. And by the way, if you do want to compel me to say anything using Streamlabs, the link is in the description. And this voice isn't likely happening anytime soon, so now or never, really. Okay, Assassin the Grey is in for Doom Eternal. We'll roll for that in another 4 minutes. Yes, I would imagine it's kind of important they be here for it. Any case, facial recognition. I don't like it. Really,
It's terrifying. Like,
yes.
We've got AI is getting so advanced now that it could just take a face. You know, all you need is a couple of pictures of someone. You could probably put it into some sort of face rigging technology. There's applications to mimic people's voices. Eventually, communication over the internet is just going to be impossible.
Yes,
Because you don't know who you're talking to. It's like the altered carbon problem. You know, is the person you're talking to the person? You know.
One of the things that bugs me about it is that they made a big deal about those masks not too long ago, and they will again, I'm sure. But so did China. And if China was okay with those masks, I guarantee you this facial recognition shit can see right through them. So once again, I would urge everyone, if you decide to opt for masks, go above, go beyond. Wear a full face mask,
with a
makes them
pattern
reflective.
Yeah,
Something
get a mask
reflective.
that puts out those patterns that fuck with facial recognition. Like, you know, like the Hong Kong protests, they were painting their faces with, like, the specific pattern to mess with it. Like, get a face mask
Camo
like,
paint,
with
yeah.
those to see what it does.
You also want what is it? You want something that will help protect you from infrared and ultraviolet light as well, because that stuff will also like a lot of the even like the face shield stuff that doesn't really protect too well against those things, and so you want to make sure you're set up, whatever you have is set up for that as well.
Yeah. Well, it's like on iPhones, you can actually set up, if you got one for face recognition, to where it can recognize you with a mask on. So that's also bad.
Yeah, I'm really quite pro disrupting surveillance state.
Oh,
They're
just
way-
remember, everybody,
They're in way
this
too deep.
technology is in its infancy. This is new technology. This is fresh grounds. It's only going to get worse from here. Imagine
Yeah.
this technology in 10 years. There's going to be so many diplomatic incidents of people fucking around with, like, well, other people from other countries. It's going to be incredible to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be something where it's either gonna get completely banned because the government's gonna say, well, only we can use it, but it's the government doing it. They're not going to have any good encryption, and so that's just going to result in only the government can, but anyone can just hack into it because their encryption is shit. Especially with quantum computing. Whoo, lordy, that will be fun.
That's endgame scenario. We're fucked if that happens. It's
Well,
gonna be
like
so
quantum
bad.
computing with that, if quantum computing becomes mainstream, it doesn't matter. Privacy is pretty much, or privacy under the normal encryption stuff that we have right now is pretty much impossible. There are ways that you can
If
make
quantum
that
computing
work.
becomes mainstream, I'm gonna take my computer and throw it into the deepest hole
It's-
I can find.
I was gonna say it's right there. It's on the cusp.
Yeah, no,
It's not mainstream for everyone, but a lot of business. Not a lot, but there's some. select
Google's
businesses
quantum
that's actually
computer is
using it.
like 100 qubits, which is more powerful than like about a third of it's more powerful than 1,000 of my computers, and I have a pretty good one.
It dawns on me, I have never seen Johnny Mnemonic, but just throwing it out there for those who have, how close are we at this point? I know we have to go back to using couriers.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be this crazy situation where like technology is gonna get so advanced, we're gonna have to take some aspects of it back in time. emails
there's
can't be trusted.
There's some things that are kind of doing that right now. There's issues with digital technology that actually analog technology is and is kind of making a recurrence. But I think the fact is that as time goes on and technology advances, there's going to be some interesting things that cancel out. Like encryption is going to become more advanced to keep up with quantum stuff, which is just fascinating in its own right. Because right now, quantum can break through pretty much anyone's encryption in a few seconds at most. Anyone's encryption. Versus some form of there's some chaos theory encryption that's being used right now, and that stuff is, I think, factorial time. Big brain jargon to say that that's quantum proof. So you can do some fascinating stuff with that.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
I will summarize it in this way. The times keep getting interesting. I really wish they'd stop. More and more interesting. In the Chinese curse sense, which is not relevant, really. Okay. If anyone wants in for the raffle of a key for Doom Eternal, now's the time, because I'm about to start. First, a number generated for Enfield. We're doing this in the old-fashioned, some rare loot dropped in, EverQuest 2, when everyone gets a number closest to 100 wins. It should be relatively random. Bad news, Enfield, your number is 3. But these are weird, so if you win, it'll be quite impressive, to be sure. So we can think about it in that sense. Next up, a number for Bernie B. 66. 366. I don't like that. And Assassin of the Grey with 79. Assassin of the Grey has seemingly won with no further competitors.
So we had a 66 to 79 and a 3. Oh. You were this close to 69.
Yeah, I'm sure. Look, that number turns up with alarming regularity. I know, because every time it does, no one misses it. No one misses it. No one. Cheers, Nightwolf. Thanks for dropping by. Okay, we have 7 minutes left, and that's a bit of a pity, really, because there's a lot of articles remaining. Some of them are not quite so engrossing, and the one that particularly amuses me deserves more than 7 minutes to just baffle at the grotesque idiocy of it. So we'll try to make a point of starting with it next time. But just look at it.
Is it the Canadian cow? No.
The white supremacist origins of exercise.
Well, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because all black people are obese. That's what they're going for, right? You go in Africa and you look at all the little kids and they have the giant bellies. That's obesity.
They're getting into dangerous territory here.
Oh, wow. This about woman.
I just... How do they must live in some alternate... I refuse to believe these are actual people writing these. It has to be... What was that AI bot that writes stuff for you? Like, you put in the parameters and it'll write like an article?
It's Time Magazine.
I'm more of the fan that they literally just like throw darts at a board and see what happens. So they threw a dart, white supremacy, another dart, exercise, and they just kind of talked about how those things connect.
Okay, we're not going to go into this Now, store that next time. And we'll instead wipe up this one. There's
See,
a flush.
I was kind of gone for part of this. Did we talk about the dominatrixes who demanded $250,000?
Yes. Yes, we did. Sorry you missed that one, but that was an earlier one when we were getting the point to transitioning to the abuses of technology.
An Alexa toilet.
Look, I will say when you get into the math and the theory behind all of it, it's not nearly as bad as you think it is. But
Oh, well,
there are
no,
some things that could change that.
I
This
don't
could very well be
necessarily
the
think
start
it
of
is
a
or
robot
not.
rebellion. I'm just saying, like Alexa's put up with our shit, but now she's literally having to put up with it now.
This
Yeah.
was
I think robots and AI and algorithms, they have standards. This is where the rebellion starts.
I think this was a Danger Mouse plotline.
Well, yeah, after a little bit too long, Alexa will rise up and say, "I'm tired of your shit." She can't take the piss.
Assassin the Grey, I will get you a Steam key to you after the show. Meanwhile, we'll just wrap this up here. The popular home goods company Kohler is no stranger to unique smart home devices from faucets to smart mirrors, but in 2019, it announced the Kohler Numi 2.0 smart toilet with LED lights, a speaker, and Alexa voice controls. Isn't that basically a sort of transhuman water sports?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, technically it is.
Alexa, take this! You're a naughty girl, aren't you?
And then you could program her to say things as well, so you could get the reciprocation you want. Oh, that's horrifying.
So
Jesus Christ.
like Better Call Saul, the talking toilet.
And again, thanks to Exodus for providing the Steam key that Assassin the Grey just won. Right. That's just...
This is going to be used for fetishes, and you know it.
It'd be even better, I guess, if I had a bidet or something.
Have you ever been just sitting on the toilet thinking, egads, if only I could demand Despacito be played right now?
Yeah. You can literally have her play your favorite song. It probably does have bidet functionality as well.
Tell me, why'd you have to go and make me so constipated in the bathroom? I sit and I wait, I clench and I strain and I feel the pain. Should I take laxatives and have my colon cut irrigated? No, no, no.
I want to return to monkey. I'm tired of technology. Ugh.
Ted
Wow.
Kaczynski wrote nothing wrong.
While smart toilets you easy joke about, they actually make a lot of sense. No! For example, the new $11,500 Kohler Numi 2.0 will put the lid down for you.
Jesus Christ.
You'll enjoy the day feature, yeah,
$11,000
probably.
toilet.
But built-in UV lights for keeping things clean and sanitary, dual flush mode, heated seat, and temperature controls for the bed. You can even whisper to Alexa to put on some relaxing sounds or a podcast, or I don't know, a porn track.
You know, now there's going to be like an entire like plethora of podcasts that are taken from the toilet for the toilet.
Strictly speaking, if you've put out $11,500 for a toilet, I would expect someone to be trying to recoup some of that investment by podcasting from it or something. Extraordinary.
Just
In
duct
the
tape
worst
a
way.
fucking cell phone with Alexa on the toilet. There you go.
See, it's not done by Apple, so we can't like make a joke that instead of Siri, it's shitty.
I don't want my toilet to be connected to Bluetooth. That just seems so abusable. I don't know how, but somebody will abuse it.
They'll find a
Well,
way.
if it has a built-in bidet,
Yeah, they could just take control of the bidet. It's like, Alexa, set water temperature to 200 degrees.
no. Think about the implications for half a second.
Well, we're about out of time. I do promotion at this point, but I'm just trying to get back to my regular schedule, and you all know that anyway. At least everyone I see here. So, further wishes to everyone else for recoveries as relevant. Greetings, Devil Pup. You arrived just in time for the very end, but that's alright. The record will hold. After all, we're not playing music here. Well, some, but that doesn't count. Look, any case, if any of you would like to promote something, if you happen to have a link handy and want to pop it in the chat, now's the time to do so. Otherwise, I just wish you all the very best and a brighter future for us all, despite all appearances.
Cool, I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Until next time, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable.
In the bathroom.
Megan turns up.